Have you ever worked with someone who pushed so hard that people literally braced themselves when they walked into the room? I did. The strange thing was, he wasn't a bad person at all. In fact, away from work, he was one of the nicest people that I knew. But at work, he flipped a switch and came on strong, showing no weakness. He was one of the best sales guys we had, but incessantly pushed the envelope and constantly pressed for more. Late one afternoon, I pulled him aside and told him something nobody else was willing to say. I led with, "Can I tell you something as a friend?" His countenance immediately softened, and he said, "Sure, man, anything." So I said, "I know you're just trying to do your job, but you tend to push everyone you work with. When people see you coming, they brace for impact." He said, "Really?" So I said, "Yes, I tense up and start building a case against the request I think you're about to make." I could tell this was news to him and he was trying to process the implications. The truth was hard to hear, but it was also a gift. I said, "Knowing you as I do, I don't think you want that reputation, but there's another reason to consider a different approach." He was all ears at this point. So I said, "You may not realize this, but there are benefits to being easy to work with. When the market conditions are right, I can pay more than the stated commission, but I don't have to. In the long run, the more you push, the less you make." Now he was doubly motivated to be easier to work with. From then on, all our exchanges were ended with a knowing nod and a smile. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to speak the truth to someone. While you might not get the best reception, you're likely the only person who cares enough to tell them how they're really coming across. Can I be direct? That's a question I usually ask right before addressing something head on in a coaching session. I've never had anybody say, "No, be indirect." But when they give me permission, it lowers defensiveness and prepares them for a potential positive growth opportunity and change. So consider three things. Number one, be clear but kind in choosing your words. Brene Brown says clear is kind, which is true, but try to avoid shame or deep wounds in the process. Number two, try to identify with the message that you're delivering. Say something like, "You know what, I struggle with this at times as well." And then number three, offer to help going forward. Holding people accountable and providing ongoing feedback can be very valuable, especially when awareness is not great. One last thing. A mentor once told me that you're not ready to confront someone if you're going to get any enjoyment out of it. That's a great filter to be sure you're in the right frame of mind before being direct. So, who in your world needs someone who cares enough to tell them the truth?